Did you know that according to a survey released by Pew Research Center, Pew, P-E-W, that's an odd name, with over 2.3 billion active monthly users who have logged on within the last monthly. Facebook still remains the most widely used social media platform. Roughly 2/3 of U.S. adults, 68% now report that they are Facebook users. Now, I want to share with you something because you may go, okay, Damon, what's so great about that fact? Well, over the last couple of years, we've seen new platforms come out like Snapchat and Twitter and Instagram and all of them, and Twitch and Clubhouse, and all of them are great. And then also what we saw is an increase in advertising costs from Facebook. And everybody, please, I'm not only going to talk about Facebook, so please pay attention to what I'm saying because hopefully it'll spur some other thoughts. And so the advertising and the algorithms got way more expensive through all their litigations and public issues. So it made it much harder for you to reach your target. I've even heard people say that Pinterest is probably a better place to reach your targets. But however, if you think about Twitter and you think about Instagram, people a lot of times focus all their money or resources towards those platforms. And they go, well, that's a great platform because everybody can see my stuff. But none of them can do what Facebook does, which is you can't create a small community of like-minded people on Twitter and Instagram because you're out there talking to everybody, which is okay. But you can't create just groups where like-minded people are. Thank you, what you said, Alu David. But you cannot create like-minded groups. And that is where Facebook really starts to build your brand, because whether you're advertising or not, you're communicating within a like-minded group. And that's extremely important. Even on Clubhouse, there's like-minded group, but people pop in and pop out. But in like-minded groups such as Facebook, people become members and they stay there. And, I have my own group, the Daymond John Network for entrepreneurs. And it makes it easy for entrepreneurs and intrapreneurs who are familiar with my brand to engage me and for me to go out there and talk to them. And that's, as somebody just said, the Power Shift gang is in the house. A lot of people in my group have been able to work with other people in the group that they just met and or get to know. Of course, be very careful of any group you go into, because often I've found that, it's the ones that are often pushing too much. The bad boys and the bad girls know how to go into groups and try to manipulate people, not necessarily just on Facebook or Clubhouse, but in the streets. And the good people sometimes get caught up. So remember, everybody's not created equal. Of course, any group you go into, make sure you do your homework on those people. But it is important that you think about Facebook. Why am I saying that to everybody? Well, because a lot of the old things that have gotten you here, we're so busy looking at all the new things out there. And remember, you're only supposed to put a little bit of time in new things and go back to your fundamentals. Because if you look at things like billboards, people will say, well, billboards. Well, right before the pandemic, billboards were at an all-time high. Why? Because you can't swipe a billboard when you're in the highway, when you're stuck in traffic. Now, obviously, with traffic changing and traffic patterns changing, that has changed, but they will come back. So what's a good time to buy right now? Billboards. I happened to be out on the beach in Miami the other day, and you know what? Everybody saw those planes flying by with those numbers or signs or whatever standing outside. Why? Because you can't swipe those things away. People will say retail is dead, but retail and airports are stronger than ever before because you cannot get Amazon in the airport. It is a traveler that has enough money to take a plane and is not taking a train or taking an automobile. You can't even get water into the airport. So you are stuck there waiting, and you have a captive audience that will pay also a lot more money for that normal product because they know it's at airport prices. So I say all that to say many of you are just following the norm, and I have, or following the crowds, and I've been guilty of it as well. But always during these hard times, always try to zig when somebody's zagging. Always try to zig when they zag. If somebody's coming to you right now telling you should be on Bitcoin right now or you should be on sports cards, well, it's already too late because those things started to take off 6 months ago or a year ago. Always zig when people zag, and remember that. So the things that people are all talking about, those are dead or gone. They're not dead or gone. And there's certain people hitting those things. So you can get those things at a discount. You can use it when you want to test things at a very, very limited price. You can also barter, because of some of those things, people say, oh, nobody's talking about that now. Well, then those people right now are looking to you and saying, hey, I'm ready, open to do a deal with you. right? So think about all those things. You know what came back also recently? Drive-through theaters. If you have a local business, why wouldn't you advertise at a drive-through theater? Everybody wants to still go to the theater, but they want to stay in their car, in the comfort of their car with their family. And if they're driving a place, obviously you know they have a car. Well, if you advertise locally through a drive-through theater, and there's thousands of them in the country, there's actually an organization that pushes them. Well, then you know that locally that person is going to drive to see your restaurant or your clothing store because they're going to know you're open, and they already are in the mind in the mental process of I want to get out of the house. That's why they were at the drive-through theater anyway, and the drive-through theater probably doesn't charge much for that. All right. So somebody said, what about NFTs? Yeah, NFTs are great, but you have to have some kind of level of, brand to put behind the NFT, because if you're purchasing all types of NFTs, you don't necessarily know if it's going to go for a good amount. So you know what? I want everybody here here is your test for the week. Try to go out there and look at your Facebook groups first, because, those things are free. And as you think of new ways to advertise, think of the old ways of advertising and marketing. How much would it cost right now to run off 10,000 flyers? Think about that. And have a kid or a couple of kids go and put them over, in people's in people's mailboxes. Well, think about that. Everybody's home. Everybody's home, and you ain't getting flyers no more because everybody's trying to digitally market you. Think about that. How much would it cost you right now if you had a local business and plus, you know what? Your kid is probably home. Make your kid go out there and drop off 10,000 flyers. Just think about that. And you know what? It doesn't even have to be if you have a local business, right? You could have a business online and come up with some really great. Somebody said, is that legal? Yeah, it's legal. You can drop off flyers. Anybody can do that. We used to do that all day. But, think about it like this. You can have an online business right now, and you sit there and you run off 1,000 flyers and have your kid or yourself, keep it real, yourself, go out and drop them off to all the homes and see how many people hit your online business through your flyers. Think about that right there. All right. Anyway, so go out there and think about other ways to go outside of the box. I want you to do that. If you are somebody who is a real estate broker, you know what? Get your kid a drone and go out and have them drone every house that you're representing. A drone will probably cost you $600-700. But if you're representing 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 houses in this crazy market, and every time you put your house up for listings, you have aerial shots and shots coming inside to outside of the house from the backyard and highlighting a tree or a pool. Watch, you will sell way more than everybody else because it'll be a visual presentation that's above and separates from everybody else. So that's what I want you to do. Think about those type of things and apply those to your single business every day. And even if you are an entrepreneur, you're working at a company, find other ways to stand out. Of course, you're not going to go and advertise and market in that way. But while everybody's home, think about ways that you can market all the amazing things you're doing for your company, maybe even online. You don't have to market it, but talking online about how great your company is, how, and of course, you need to be saying the truth, but, the things that you're enjoying about your company and where it has been for you during the pandemic and how it has really helped you and what's going to happen. Well, other people in your company are going to see you and they're going to look like you as a problem solver. Of course, your senior management is going to say, this is the type of person we want in our company, the person that even when the times are tough, they were sitting there, they were talking as a leader, or they just appreciate us reinvesting in our teams and in our staff. And those things are going to take you further. Don't go out and talk bad about your company. Why? Because, of course, your company's going to see it. And second of all, if you go to apply to someplace else, they're going to look at you and see all that you were talking and going to say, I'm not sure if I want that person in my company. They're probably a troublemaker. I want you to think about all those things, all right? And I'm going to bring somebody else on here right now, whoever I'm going to bring on. So, all right, ping me right now if you want me to talk to you and bring you on. And let's see who we got here. Hey.
Hello.
How are you?
Good.
It is always a pleasure and an honor to see you. Where are you at?
Home.
You're home. Oh, good. You have any questions or suggestions? I mean, because you hear me speak often in so many different platforms, so you kind of can say anything that I'm saying, with your eyes closed, because you kind of know me so well. But do you have any questions that you think maybe people do not know that I could potentially answer that maybe I haven't touched on, or something you think I did touch on in the past?
at first I actually put in the comment, you said doing all these flyers, there will be some people who's very environmentally friendly. They may want to see if you print anything is on recyclable paper.
You know, even good point, right? And so you may be talking from a place like where you're from. I know that you care about the environment, care about people. So yeah, I mean that's even socially responsible, right? But make sure that your company is not selling something that is not environmentally friendly, and you're like, well, we put it on environmentally friendly paper, because people got to be like, well, that's somewhat of a hypocrite, you know? But yeah, you know what? I like that, right? Because on a flyer, you can say a lot of things, right? You can say what you are, what you do, what community you're giving back to. That if people don't like, you know, if they don't become whatever, they're not interested, please give us your comments on how we can be better, you know, all that type of stuff. So it is really good. I mean, there's a lot of room on that flyer, real estate, but just catch them when, and you know what you could do? You can also run off, if you run off 10,000, you can run off 10 with different titles, so you see which one gives you a better response. You know, one is the big title, like, I don't know, come eat here, or other ones, restaurants are back, or do you know the burgers are the new black, whatever the case is, right? And then you see who responds to which title.
Yes,
What are you
and
doing
also,
lately with your company? Tell us about your company, please.
I do consulting to help people to build their own beauty business. And I also started my own beauty brand last year because I want to use it as a case study that I can help people to launch their beauty product after I help them to launch their own beauty business. So it will be a 360-degree of service.
Now, what I've seen lately, I know you took a challenge a couple of months ago, and the challenge was to do an Instagram live or something of that nature every day for 30 days. I believe that's what it was. And I saw you out there doing that. Was that scary at first? Because a lot of people are very fearful of getting on camera and presenting to people. Was that scary at all, or did you find it helpful? Give us some insight for everybody here who's like, you know, I have a product, I have a brand, or myself, I just don't want to be on the camera all day. I just don't want to do it. You know, whatever the case is.
Well, you have to do it because if you truly believe in your product, you are the brand. So you have to push yourself forward to do it, no matter what. It's a
Did you
dedication.
did you find it hard? Did people make fun of you? Were people supportive of you? What was the outcome? What is there anything that you learned?
People actually would love to see a live person talking to you because then you build connections. And I do have a little trick that I do use my Fan Love Beauty Lip Balm because it's built for speakers. So whenever I use that before I talk to people, I feel empowered.
You know, and that's, you know, a lot of people think that, and listen, a lot of people think that when you get up and you speak to one person, two people, or a lot of people, and I know that people think public speaking is to speak in front of a lot of people. You could be speaking to one person in, you know, in the street, or doing a presentation at the office. A lot of people don't realize that the more polished you are, you know, the more people don't necessarily resonate. But if you just say it, say, hey, I don't normally do this. I'm trying it. I'm stepping outside my comfort zone. I'm doing whatever. They cheer for you. They want to be part, because everybody understands the nervousness, right? And it's the same as when you're pitching your product. You can say, I know this, this, and this, but the whole reason I'm pitching it to you is because I know that you understand this, and here's where I need more information, or I need help, or if I'm not presenting something the right way, let me know. Make people part of your presentation, because people, somebody just said it very easily, we want you to win.
Yep.
All right. Well, I really appreciate you. Any final words you want to say to anybody out there about your product, or what you're doing, anything you're thinking?
Sure. I actually want everybody to experience my Fan Love Beauty Lip Balm because it's the healthiest lip balm ever. And because lip balm is, people can ingest it. So you do want to make sure you use a good one. As you always said, a healthy person can have 1,000 dreams. So starting with the choice of lip balm is critical.
That's true. So I use Fan Love Beauty. It's all natural. And it is true because as you put it on, you keep ingesting it. So a lot of the stuff we use have a lot of chemicals, and we'll sit there and we'll look at all the things that have happened in the past and all these, all these diseases that we're getting. That is from a lot of the aluminum and deodorants. It's from fluoride. It's from ingesting this stuff. It's from all the stuff that we're putting on our skin, because our skin is our biggest organ. And don't get me wrong, I am, I'm always trying to improve my life. But even after I do that, we're still running around eating all kind of processed food and everything else. So any little change that you can make is always extremely helpful to you. So, because we never know where some of this stuff is coming around from. So, all right, Ginger, thank you so much as always, and I appreciate you.
If you want another awesome video in our Black Excellence series, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.